Goodies everybody, my name is EdenVine and welcome to this video on how to get cards in Gwent. Now, just like in pretty much every other collectible card games, buying cards and building yourself a collection of cards is a key aspect of the game. In this video we will focus on how to get ore, scraps and card kegs. Kegs are what we call packs in most other games. One keg contains 5 cards with at least 1 rare. Kegs can be purchased with an in-game currency named ore, 100 ore equaling 1 keg. Finally, you can also get cards by crafting them by spending scrap. For a Hearthstone player, this is very similar to the dust system. Now the first thing to do is make sure you've completed all the tutorials. If you do so, you will get rewarded 100 ore, 50 scraps and 1 keg to get started, so if you haven't done it, I highly suggest you check it out. Another thing not to forget to do is to subscribe to the newsletter on GOG. Doing so will give you a free card keg and a copy of the original Witcher game, which is really cool. Now let's talk about the daily reward system. This is very important because this is how you're going to get most of your cards. Now the daily reward system consists of 4 tiers, each tier requiring you to win a certain amount of rounds and awarding you with a certain amount of ore. The deeper you go into the system, the less rewarding it becomes, and this is actually good for casual players because the first 2 tiers are very generous. It is also important to know that the daily reward system is very generous and particularly encouraging towards free-to-play players. It is very easy to get 1 to 2 kegs per day. Another thing you may have noticed is some smaller rewards in between games. This is because you also get additional smaller rewards in between your games that consist of 15 ore, 15 scraps or a random card. It is important to know that a random card can actually be a legendary card. Now the smaller rewards are indicated here with the question marks. They can be obtained throughout completing tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. Now let's talk about level up rewards. Level up rewards are generally fixed rewards such as a certain amount of kegs, scraps, or they can be random cards. There are 2 exceptions though, as Siri and Decoy are going to be awarded to every single player that reaches level 18 or 20. So be sure not to craft those cards because you will get them for sure at level 18 and 20. Now I think this is a little awkward because it forces you not to play Siri and Decoy until you reach the sufficient levels. So this might change, but if it doesn't, do not craft those 2 cards. Finally, the last thing we're going to talk about today is getting GG. So getting GG can give you 5 ore or 5 scraps. It's random among those 2 rewards. Personally, I think ore is better in the beginning because you have a small collection and being able to buy kegs is much more valuable than having scraps. However, when you start playing a little bit more, when you have all the commons and rares, you're going to want to craft epics and legendaries, and the chances of getting those in kegs is much lower, so crafting them is probably the best solution. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so very much for watching. There's another video coming in the next few days on how to read the card's layout properly. So I'm not talking about the texts or the abilities. I'm talking about understanding the visuals of a card. So the layout, the rarity, the faction, loyal units, disloyal units, agile units, all those sort of things. Anyway, I hope you learned a few things. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.